Hopefully anyone who has clicked on this video actually read the full title to know that this video is obviously about discussion between these two cars and not a race. I know. Feels silly to say this, but some people are hasty, lazy clickers who don't pay much attention to titles, so sometimes they click and then they complain about a video not living up to their expectations. Speaking of racing, that itself would actually be something interesting to discuss first in this video. Which of these two sports sedans would win a race? The Hellcat Charger or the Lucid Air? Alright, so to those of you who know cars reasonably well, it's pretty obvious that the Lucid Air would annihilate the SRT Hellcat in any given race. Why? Two things. All-electric drivetrain that's possibly going to be all-wheel drive, and if they stick with the launch edition plans, this thing will have 1,000 horsepower. Yeah, now that's what I can call ludicrous. Tesla pun intended. Now, in regards to whether it will be all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, I honestly don't know what the case is yet because I haven't seen it listed on the official website, nor have I seen that information anywhere. Wait, hold it. Never mind. I hear that there will be a rear-wheel drive version and an all-wheel drive version that has all the bells and whistles, and I could be dead wrong on this, but it's what I heard. No, sorry, let me correct myself because I just took a proper look at the website and discovered that some of the standard features for the Lucid Air are 386 kilometers of range with rear-wheel drive. However, you will have the available options to get it with a battery pack that has 506 kilometers or an insane 643 kilometers of range. Whoa. With ranges like that, it'll be safe to say that the whole range anxiety stigma will go extinct if electric vehicles get this serious with their battery packs. On top of all of this, you can get an up to 1,000 horsepower twin motor configuration with all-wheel drive, fully active suspension, 43cm Lucid design wheels, a glass canopy roof with electrochromic shading, and a 29-speaker audio system with active noise cancellation. Mighty Mamma Mia! It sounds like they're trying to create a hyper sedan here. And with the Porsche Mission E on the horizon too, it really makes you wonder what Tesla is going to do about all this thundercar madness. The Dodge Charger. Now, as we all know, the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat is of course rear-wheel drive only, though I seriously think that they should make an all-wheel drive version soon. In fact, it should have been an option at launch, but alas, it wasn't. Still, it's not too late to come with an all-wheel drive variant, and they better do so soon if they expect to be on par or even outperform rivaling European sports sedans. Better yet, they could take it to the extreme and make an all-electric Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat out of aluminum and carbon fiber to create the ultimate hyper sedan. How many want to bet that it'll probably take them 10 to 15 years to get on board with the idea, given Fiat Chrysler's currently painfully slow, reluctant mentality towards electric vehicles? Who knows? Maybe that'll change soon once Sergio Marchionne steps down. Anyway, so before I dive into anything further, perhaps I should tell you why I'm even making a video on these two particular cars in the first place and what the inspiration was. It was the looks. Huh? What? Yes, that's right. It's because of their looks. Maybe you noticed it too, maybe you haven't and do not see it that way, but after this video you probably will not look at these two sports sedans the same way again. The Lucid Air honestly bears a lot of resemblance to the Charger Hellcat. In fact, it looks like a futuristic version of it. Let's take a look at some side-by-side photos of their front fascias, sides, rears, front interior, and the back seats. Oh yes, and before I actually dive into this, I really should have mentioned that my videos, except for the games, are optimized for devices with a 1920x1080 display. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're watching this in landscape mode and not portrait. So here's the front of these two American high-performance sedans, and I probably should have done a better job at scaling this, but whatever! Now you can see what I mean with the resemblances. The lower grills both look like an angry mouth, and something about the way the headlights are set up on these vehicles looks as if Lucid took the headlight design and made it much narrower and scarier looking. The LED on the Charger Hellcat looks like a stylized C, while the Lucid Air reminds you of the Bugatti Chiron with those multiple little squares. The hoods would have looked much alike if it weren't for the Charger's sculpted muscular hood compared to the Air's sleeker, more streamlined hood. All in all, you can see the Air really does look like a menacing, futuristic, night-like version of the Charger in the front. What about the sides? How similar do they look from there? Well, the only way to find out is to pit them side by side. This does not look very good at all. These sedans look like two stocky, compact, awkward, squat dicky birds on the fence. Let's try this again in landscape arrangement. Wow, that's so much better. Now that they're properly scaled and aligned, I can discuss the similarities and differences of their side profiles. And okay, I'm honestly having a hard time finding close resemblances from this angle. Nothing really looks similar from their sides. The nose, windows, doors, wheels, and just nearly everything looks different from their sides. Sure, you can see that they're both full-size sedans, but the Charger's sloping back gives it more of a resemblance to its fastback ancestors of the 1960s and 70s, while the Lucid Air's roof slopes down a bit, close to the edge of its trunk, causing it to look as though the trunk is short with limited room inside. It would very likely be spacious on the inside, but I haven't seen any photos of that yet, so who knows for sure? Let's see how similar they look from the back. I'm not sure if this photo will be better in a landscape setup, but I won't bother comparing and testing that this time, so let's just go right ahead and discuss these two sporty American rears. So let's start with a vote. Whose butt looks better? Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat or Lucid Air? I like that the Lucid Air has an absence of exhaust pipes, but you know what? That racetrack LED setup looks undeniably awesome, so for that reason, the Charger wins here. Oh, and that rear spoiler looks really cool too. But that somewhat deep cutoff for the rear license plate doesn't look too attractive, but it's not a killer either. So now I'm finished talking about who's got the better butt. Let us discuss the similarities and differences between the two. They both have spoilers, though because the Lucids look so subtle, you can debate whether or not it's even a true spoiler or simply just a fin of the trunk. Though both of these rears generally have the same shape, the Charger clearly looks more sculpted while the Air has a smoother, rounder appearance to it. And for the lights! To tell the truth, the Air's rear taillights looks much more like a 2017 Lincoln MKZ's taillights. Hold on, that there could be another discussion too. Did Lincoln start copying Dodge's taillights with their recent vehicles? Some people have called Lincoln out for doing this, especially with the 2015 and newer Lincoln Navigator, where some have gone as far to say that it looks like it had a child with the Dodge Durango during a miserable one-night stand. Yeah, some people can be very outspoken with their words. Some claim the inspiration on the Lincoln's vehicle actually comes from their earlier cars, but I won't turn this into a discussion on Lincoln's styling inspiration. Let's get back to the Charger Hellcat and Lucid Air. On both of these cars, the taillights both light up similarly as if they're one piece of single LED band, or a loop in the case of the Charger, which they call a racetrack. A very cool racetrack that looks so damn awesome in the nighttime. Seriously, whenever you see a Dodge Charger, Dart, or Durango, there's no mistaking them for anything else on the road, except for maybe certain 2016 to 2018 Lincoln models if you don't know better. Even then, you can still tell them apart once you see them and realize that the Dodge's lights are rounder, larger, and appear fuller than that of the much rarer Lincolns. Oh, and perhaps the biggest giveaway is the fact that Lincoln's taillights do not form a complete loop, hence why you don't hear them referring to it as a racetrack. Or maybe they're afraid of admitting that they did copy Dodge after all. Who knows? And now that I've spent enough time talking about the exterior of these four-door sporters, it's time to take a look inside the front boards. As we can see here, it's like comparing snowberries and strawberries. This particular Charger Hellcat is rocking a modern, sporty front compartment that has a big, bad, and cool vibe to it. The Lucid Air looks like something that's come from another world. The future. Sure, the Hellcat looks cool and all, but the Lucid is just wow. I mean, it's much less colorful, but all those grays, white, and silvers give it that intense, chilling, futuristic vibe, and the absence of those buttons and knobs helps to push those feelings even further. So before I move on to the next point in this discussion, let me give you a full 1920x1080 view of the Charger Hellcat's front compartment. And now, let's take a look at the Lucid Air. I'm not even going to lie, man, the Lucid Air is definitely the car I'd rather be in given the choice between these two. Back seats! How could I possibly do a commentary and discussion video of sports sedans without discussing their back seats? Wait, hold on, does this current portrait-inspired scaling look good? Or does this landscape-inspired style look better? I honestly think that it looks worse for some reason, maybe because of how it makes the Lucid Air look a little pixelated, but the Charger looks fine here. I'll switch it anyway. Much better! So as I was saying, it would be no good to have a talk video where I don't commentate on the rear seats of a sports sedan. After all, this is what makes a four-door sports car so much more practical than a two-door coupe. When people buy a four-door sport car, they buy them because they're much more sensible than a two-door car. You get to have your fun, and on top of that you can carry your friends, wife, kids, cats, dogs, budgeriggers in the back seats, and cargo in the trunk while going at 300 kilometers per hour. Kidding! You obviously know better not to drive at those illegal speeds, especially when you're with other people and animals. I know, it can be tempting to hear your Hellcat's beastly, supercharged 6.2-liter, 707 horsepower V8 engine roar like an angry, rampaging monster, but you gotta be considerate of those you share the road with. Same goes for you too, electric sporters. Anyway, so let's get back to focusing on these two's back seats. Here, the Hellcat has a traditional bench setup to allow 3 people to easily sit back there, while this particular Lucid Air has the executive seating. I hear and I've seen images of variants of the bench seat setup to allow 3 to sit back there, so we'll likely have 2 configurations available for you to choose. I suspect that the launch edition will be the one with the executive seats, while the regular one will have good old bench seats. Launch edition or not, it's possible to have bench seats with 1,000 horsepower, so there's plenty of thundering ludicrous going on here. There goes that pun again. Anyways, it's cool to see both these automakers making vehicles that offer both fun and practicality in their cars. As much as I like the Lucid's gorgeous white executive seats, I'd rather go for the bench seat version just because it'll hold more back there. And now finally, it's time to wrap this video up. Though it's obvious, I'm certainly biased towards the Lucid Air because it's an all-electric vehicle, but truth is, I'd actually take none of these two home. You know why? Well, you should know me by now. It's because they're both sedans. I'm a pickup truck SUV type of person, so I have my eyes on things like the Tesla Model X, the upcoming Tesla pickup truck, Audi Q6 e-tron, and Mercedes-Benz EQ, and so forth. What did you think of this video? Has your perspective changed on these two? Has the idea of seeing such a comparison with such a strange matchup even crossed your mind? Which would you choose given a choice between these two? Did you like this video? Comment, rate, like, subscribe, share, read my blog for information, and visit my Twitch page to see my latest tweets. And do not forget to also participate in the polls in the top right corner in the I circle. It'll be interesting to see which car people would rather choose, because you have a lot of diehard electric enthusiasts, but then you also have a lot of people who love their big, brash, and wild sport engines for their adrenaline pumping exhaust notes.